Hello everybody at Gather the Women. I'm here in Santa Barbara wishing that I could be with you. And I've been just contemplating the words, gather the women. And for one moment I thought of what that could mean on a planetary scale. If all the women like ourselves throughout this planet were actually to come together in a global matrix, it is undoubtedly the key that could transform our world. So I'm very pleased that you asked me to speak with you, and I just want to set the scene for a moment because I've been reviewing 3 seminal books that make me aware of what a huge challenge as pioneers that we actually have, that there are almost no models of the kind of women that we are becoming, the kind of leadership that we have to give during a transition to the next stage of human evolution. And these 3 books that set the scene for us are The Chalice and the Blade by Riane Eisler, The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan, and The Fountain of Age by Betty Friedan. And what's important about The Chalice and the Blade, I'm sure most of you know, is that Riane pointed out how the dominator model came in around 5,000 years ago and completely suppressed the feminine, oppressed, enslaved, reduced, made it impossible for us to emerge as whole beings until very, very recently, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, have we actually come out with the possibility of fulfilling whatever it means to be feminine. However that happened 5,000 years ago, they're not really sure, but once that patriarchy came in, it was impossible for women to discover their authentic selves. Now, even in the 60s, when Betty Friedan wrote The Feminine Mystique, she interviewed women who are my age. They were married in the 50s quite often, and the amazing thing was women married in the 50s had no self-image after the age of 21. We could have good educations, we could be very smart, we could have a strong life purpose, but the moment we got married, the identity was, I'm John's wife, I'm Mary's mother, and the feminine mystique was a sense of sadness, a sense of pain, a sense of something wrong, and we didn't know what was wrong because the cultural imprint was that we literally had no identity. And then when she wrote The Fountain of Age in the 80s, she blasted the myth of age because even in the 80s, they thought that people over 65 were getting senile. And the studies of aging all had to do with Alzheimer's and incontinence and nursing homes. And she started to notice that there were people in their 60s, 70s, 80s who were totally vibrant, but there was no image for them. So the context I want to set is, although we may feel pretty sure of ourselves, the fact is, culturally speaking, until the last 30 to 40 years, there were no self-images of the whole woman, the full woman, the woman outside of the dominator model, the woman outside of the model of a servant, a wife, a lover, a nurse. The kind of woman that we're gathering here has not shown up en masse yet on planet Earth. And I see that this kind of woman is a new archetype. An archetype means a pattern or agency of evolution that's actually deeper than a personal idea about it. We've had the archetype of the goddess, the archetype of the warrior, the archetype of the courtesan. The archetype of the feminine that I see us becoming is the feminine co-creator. And if you think, what is that? It is the feminine activated from within, through the heart, by spirit, waking up to the yearning and desire to give one's unique creative gift for the evolution of the self and the healing and evolving of our world. This woman is being born en masse in our midst. What does it take for us to become a co-creative woman? First of all, we can say that there are very few models, very few mentors. I'm one of the oldest now. I've been the youngest for a long while, but suddenly I'm the oldest. I'm 74 years old, and I'm a very, new model of the emerging co-creative feminine, because it's taken me this long to actually understand how to be my authentic self. So let's say that the Gather of the Women is gathering the type of woman that wants to express that creativity, that love, for the sake of the self, the family, the community, and the world. What do we have to do to be that kind of self?